I didn't mean to like this show. I didn't really know that much about it going into it. I knew of it, I knew that it's been around for like at least a decade, I think. It had this whole Tumblr presence, but I was really resistant into getting into it personally myself. For one thing, it seemed like if you looked at the art for too long, or if you paid too much attention to it, then it would gradually consume you and become your everything. And I already had more than enough to obsess over back then. Besides that, from what I saw of the online fandom, the community seemed kind of, terrifying. I was scared of the community. My impression of the fandom was that it was another one of those modern Tumblr, TikTok located fandoms that'll death threat you at any amount of criticism. Think Homestuck, Undertale. This kind of thing just gets really intense for a certain kind of online person. I'm sure I've been that person before. I'm sure you have. It's not pretty, but it occurs in nature. So I just kept my distance for as long as I could, and then this year, this official series came out on Amazon, and I took a look at the little description thingy, and it came to my attention that this was a musical. Sold. Sold. Automatically sold. I just can't resist, guys. I can't resist some Broadwayified cartoon drama. So I caved. I succumbed to the call of has-been. And guess what? I liked it. Basically, I mean, I'm gonna watch season 2, mainly for the music and the singing and the characters, not for the writing. Kind of prefer my writing with fewer enormous continuity errors. And I see now that we've got a really diverse range of opinions going on YouTube in reaction to the series. It's a lot safer than I assumed. I apologize. I apologize for assuming the worst. And now I'm jumping in myself. And for my first footstep into this has-been hotel, I'm gonna do what purports to be the official Has-Been Hotel character tier list. This is the official one. Anybody else comes to you and is like, mine's official, they're lying. Also, just a heads up, there is a moth flying around my room. He won't die. I can't catch him. He's just our special guest for today. Anyway, let's get started. We're gonna start with Charlie. Something going for her already is that she's voiced by Erica Henningsen. If you don't know of her already, she's been in a lot of these Tina Fey and Tina Fey adjacent kinds of projects. Mainly Mean Girls on Broadway. She originated the role of Katie Heron. And then more recently, she's had a role in Girls 5 Eva, which you can watch on Netflix and I highly recommend. So it goes without saying that Charlie has a really good singing voice. She's very likable. I like her personality. You can tell she's sincere, you know? Her whole thing is that she wants to run this hotel where all the sinners in hell can go and rehabilitate and, I guess, get sent to heaven, as opposed to get ruthlessly murdered by these angels from heaven, because that's a thing that they do every year to prevent the sinners from getting too strong, I guess. So her heart is in the right place. I think her best episode is the one closer to the end where she convinces Cannibal Town to join in this battle at the end to fight off the angels. Also when she lets herself get angry at that meeting in heaven where she finds out the angels don't know what they're doing. She spends almost the entire season just kind of not having a backbone, so it's satisfying when she finally lets herself get mad. The problem is that she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing either. She has this big dream of saving her people, but she has no idea really how she's gonna accomplish that. She's just kind of like, I'll put a hotel here, and I will teach them how to be good people. But she has no idea how redemption is measured. Like, it's pretty evident early on that she doesn't know what exactly her goal is with them. Also, she has no qualifications. Like, I kept wondering, like, why does she think that she's the one who can do this? Is it because she's the princess? Because she's not really good at being that either. She's kind of allergic to even using any of her power. She spends so much time being meek and letting people walk over her and not voicing her opinions or putting a foot down when she needs to. And you're sitting there like, why doesn't she just do that? Why doesn't she just take charge? Like, does the princess thing mean anything or does it not? I mean, she messes up before she even hard launches the hotel. Apparently Alistair got there and was like, you know what your rehab facility needs? A full-service bar. unlimited alcohol. And she was like, that sounds great. That's a good idea. She's just inept. She has no plan for what she's doing, really. She's just kind of making things up as she goes along. Like, she teaches them to say no to drugs, and then they do some trust falls, and then 5 months go by, and she's like, oh my god, why is the hotel failing? She doesn't bother doing any outreach either. Like, she gets 2 residents, and then she's like, let's make 1 commercial, and everyone will come in. There's this point where her girlfriend Vaggie's like, now that the extermination's moved ahead, all the sinners are going to be desperate to get here. That's not true. That's not how it works. Nobody else is interested. Nobody's showing up. There's this one part that I hate where she and Vaggie are trying to get this presentation about trust exercises done, and then Vaggie messes up their little intro, and then she's like, Vaggie, we rehearsed this. And then 5 seconds later, she's like, you know what? Let's improvise. Vaggie, you take the wheel. I will declare her mid. You know, she's an endearing person. It's just, you know, toughen up. There's people relying on you to not get murdered. So maybe act like it. Okay, next one. Ooh, Vaggie. Ooh, Vaggie. What can I say? She's so boring. Her entire identity is wrapped up in Charlie's, and she feels like her only purpose is to make Charlie happy and support Charlie. And it's like, Vaggie, what do you want? Girl, tell us what you want for yourself. She thinks she has no other purpose in life, and that's really, depresso. She also lied about something that would be a huge deal breaker for Charlie when they first met, which she knows, as in she's an exorcist angel, so she is a participant in this yearly culling of Charlie's people. Which you'd think that Charlie would have a bigger reaction to, but she kind of gets through her feelings over it in like 1 episode, and it's like, okay. Vaggie is also stupid. Towards the end of the season, there's this big revelation that angels can be killed using angelic weapons, and everyone's so surprised by this, and Vaggie's surprised by this, and it's like, Vaggie, you should be the least surprised by this out of everybody. Part of her backstory is literally that another angel took an angelic weapon and gouged her eye out and cut her wings off. And then she goes and sees Carmilla later, and she's like,
before you found out about me, did you know angels could be harmed?
And she's like, no. You should have. You should have first-hand experience. You should know. You were there, right? It's just really hard for me to not look down on this woman. Alistair. I do really like Alistair, but I am placing him in good tier. I really like his voice. I'm a sucker for old-timey shit. He's one of the most interesting characters because they set up so much mystery around him to keep you guessing, like, what are his intentions? I think that he genuinely does like Charlie on some level, and he's not all evil. When he and Lucifer are dragging each other, it seems at first like he's just trying to get under Lucifer's skin, but from then on, Alistair shows up a lot for Charlie. Like, he's invested in her as a friend and as a business partner. His insecurity can be really evident, and it pops out in these funny moments. I like how he treats women way better than he treats men. He just has, he's too much. Is it just me? I think he's a little too much. There's this character, Mimsy, and she gives this whole backstory about how when he first showed up in hell, he, like, captured all these other overlords, and then he stuffed them in his radio wave, so whenever you turned on the radio, you'd hear them screaming. Ooh. I just don't get the point of that. Like, what did he get out of that? What did that prove to anybody other than he needs a hobby? And there's other things that kind of bother me if I think about it too hard. Like, why does he have to be a deer and a radio? Apparently he was a serial killer when he was alive. Like, come on. He does kind of come off as someone's edgy fictional boyfriend they came up with in 2010 to protect them from their bullies at school. I do like him, though. I'm looking forward to learning more about him, learning who he has this deal with, who is keeping him in chains. Except it's Lilith, right? It's definitely Lilith. I think it's Lilith. It's very hard to say Lilith. Angel Dust. I am actually throwing him up in the great tier. I didn't want to like him. The first time he opens his mouth in episode 1, I was just like, ugh.
Please, baby.
This body was made to be exploited. I got the arms. I got the stamina.
If a character starts out all mean-spirited and kind of sexual harassy like that, it sort of predisposes me not to like them. Also, he kind of talks like a slutty bottom in some fan fiction written by some girl. Seemed a little stereotypical at first. However, he does go through the most measurable change in the show. There's a lot of discussion going on about his musical number called Poison. Some people are saying, oh, this is glorifying abuse, and some people are saying, oh, this makes me feel seen because this is how I felt when I was being abused. I'm leaning towards the second one. But I also think I'm kind of reading something into it that wasn't intentional, but I haven't seen a lot of people, or I haven't seen anyone really talk about this, so I'll go for it. Basically, what I see in that number is just a big ol' mirror being held up to the real-life adult entertainment industry. But the reason I think that is specifically because of the juxtaposition of the abuse with his pop music and the dancing. I don't see it as glorifying abuse. I see it as him getting abused over and over by Valentino, and then the whole dance in front of the footage of the abuse is him being paraded around afterward to promote his abuse to consumers so Valentino can make money off of him. There's even literally a contract involved. It's pretty known from people who exit the industry in real life that it's not uncommon for things to get added to your contract that you didn't actually agree to initially. And as the music video goes on, it gets more and more intense for Angel. I feel so bad for him. For some reason, that visual of him with that gag in his mouth, holding his mouth open, that was one of the most shocking things I saw. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. It's just like a specific kind of degrading. It ends up very satisfying to see him warm up to everyone else and get along with other people and drop the facade, the defense mechanisms that are harming other people around him or making him be an asshole. You can tell that he cares about the other people in the hotel over time. Okay, let's do Husk. Husk he's pretty good. I'm gonna say he's good. Beautiful voice, obviously. He's played by Keith David. His design is just so hard to look at. I think that's one of the worst parts about him. Like, why did he need wings? I think he'd look really cute as just a cat with suspenders. I don't know if that's just me. His ears make me think of Canada. His tail has its own tail. Like, what is happening? I feel like that has to be a nightmare to animate. I've seen people criticize him for comparing his situation to Angel's.
You're a loser, baby.
A loser, but just maybe if we eat shit together, things will end up differently.
Which I understand. But I'm also going to hold off on feeling any certain way about it because we still don't really know what Alistair is capable of or what he has done to Husk before. I mean, we see just how scared Husk gets during that confrontation with Alistair in the hallway. He's shaking. He's the most scared we've ever seen him. So I'm willing to bet that Alistair has demonstrated some kind of horrific abuse toward him before. We just haven't seen it yet. He basically acted out how I felt when I was first introduced to Angel Dust, so I appreciate that. I'm also interested in learning more about his abilities, because he has, like, those explosive dice thing. He was an overlord, so I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't know if he has kept any, like, really special powers, because I guess the dice are, like, devices. So sort of more like Serpentious style. But yeah, I hope we get to see more interactions between Husk and Alistair, and I'm looking forward to seeing him and Angel Dust continue to be friends. Next is Serpentious. He's also great. He is such a little cutie, little Mr. Lollipop Nunhead. I love him. I'm also biased towards snakes. I love snakes. He's a little annoyingly pathetic sometimes. It's not really enjoyable to watch him flirt with anybody. I like that he's a total softie. He's just not really naturally good at being evil or intimidating. His death is very anticlimactic, though. It seems pretty pointless. He sacrifices himself. He gets in his flying thing to face off with Adam. I guess the idea is that he's stalling him, but he didn't stall him for shit. Like, Adam just points at him and he vaporizes. And then he's gone. I feel like that just kind of happened for no reason. Or it happened for one reason, which was so that he could be reborn as an angel and show up in heaven to show that the hotel does work. I'm looking forward to seeing him as an angel. I'm looking forward to seeing how they use him because he's going to be a really unique case now. He's played by Alex Brightman of Beetlejuice on Broadway fame. The comedy is on point. He's definitely one of the funniest characters. I'm a Serpentious stan. I guess it's official now. Next one is Nifty. No notes. Nifty is voiced by Kimiko Glenn, who is a legendary voice actor at this point.
Sometimes I kill mother bugs in front of their children as a warning to others. Yay, pain! Pain.
She's one of the most sincere characters, obviously, because she's just not hiding anything. She's actually pretty sensitive, too. I like that reveal about her where she, you know, she's the maid, so she's obsessed with cleaning up messes, and then when Angel Dust calls her a mess at the bar, she just bursts into tears because that's like the worst thing that she can imagine. Sounds a little OCD now that I'm thinking about it. Relate. I love her having a little bond with Alistair and those scenes where Husk is just tolerating her and Charlie's protecting her from herself. She's very entertaining. She carries a lot of the comedy. She's voiced by Kimiko Glenn. What more could you want? We have now hit the V's. Let's start with Vox. Vox. He's mid. Sorry, Vox. Vox is voiced by Christian Borle. I actually knew of him in the Falsettos revival that came out in like 2018, I think. Maybe 2017. 2016? I don't know. Who fucking knows what year it even is. He has a great voice. I love his singing. He gets a really good song in the second episode. I love the video effects that they put on his voice, like when he gets mad and he glitches when he's yelling at Val.
I swear to God.
He has a very strong theme, obviously. I guess he is like the TV overlord of hell. He's just not threatening, which, I mean, I hear that he's supposed to be a big villain in season 2. Might be a problem unless they really flesh out his character some more. I do want to see more of him, though. I hope he gets more songs, because he definitely earned them. We just don't have enough of him. I think that's it. Like, he shows up in episode 2 and kind of dips out until the very end. And I think the whole man-child kind of thing gets to me. That's one character that I don't like. I mean, I love egotistical male characters realizing at the end of the thing that, oh, I was delusional, I didn't mean shit this whole time. However, he's just not threatening, and he acts like a baby too much of the time for me to really like him, so I hope when he comes back, they give him more to work with. Next up, we have Velvet. Right? Why can I not see her on this tier list? Hold on. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay. Velvet's also team mid. She sings a great song in the third episode.
Thanks to my being respectless, one thing I'm starting to suspect is, you know why this angel's headless.
She's played by Lily Cooper. I'll have to fact check me on this afterward. I'm pretty sure that Lily Cooper was the one who originated Sandy in the SpongeBob musical. So she has a great voice, but she's all talk. She makes this big show of stomping into the meeting and throwing this dead angel head at him and being like, hey, old people, let's do something about this for once. The V's will lead the way. We have this whole plan. We're gonna attack and we're gonna win. And then at the end of the season, once the day finally comes, all three of them are just sitting in front of the TV and eating popcorn. And Vox is like crying about Alistair. It's like, guys, I thought you wanted this. I thought you were invested. I am on her side when it comes to Zestial, though. Zestial's lame, right? Like, he looks like a cheap Halloween decoration. He talks like a nerd. He slurps his tea like he wants the entire world to know about it. Get a grip, Zestial. In fact, I'm gonna take Zestial there. Go to double hell. I just don't get why people are scared of this guy. Everyone's like shitting their pants when they see him on the street, and it's like, why? I think this is one of those things where maybe if I was tuned into this whole fandom 10 years ago, maybe I'd know more about him. But I don't want to go back and consume the lore retroactively, you know? Like, if you want me to be scared of Zestial while I'm watching the show, make him scary in the show. Next up is Lucifer. I like Lucifer. Lucifer is good. He is very funny.
My daughter wants to see me. Take that,
depression.
A little underwhelming, though. I get that it's funny that he's so tiny and short and he's supposed to be the most powerful thing in hell. I would have liked it if he was more intimidating. I am wondering, though, why does he seem to have no presence in hell? Like, I guess everyone knows of him, but he's just not around. He has no influence, seemingly. He's just kind of like a symbol, and he's really powerful, and it's a monarchy, I guess. I don't know. I don't really get what's going on. It feels like he should be more important than he comes off. He is really interesting, though, because you can tell in the 5th episode he's still pretty bitter about what happened with his plan and how that didn't go well, and how, you know, he gave humankind free will and then they just fucked it up. So you kind of get why he doesn't just jump on board with Charlie's thing immediately. Like, there's more to it than just like being a bad father. Though he is a bad father. I like him. Good singing voice, good comedy. He's easier to understand than some of the other characters. I forgot Valentino. That is really bad. Valentino's good. He's not good, but he's good. I really like his voice acting. He's played by Joel Perez. He's very sleazy, very manipulative, and also very insecure and very immature too. Like, whenever anything gets in his way, he's throwing a tantrum.
You ungrateful whore! That fucking slut walked out on me. Me!
Whenever you see him trying to entice someone new into the industry, you actually feel kind of pissed. Like, he's outwardly predatory because he knows he's untouchable. And again, the insecurity, I really like that as part of his character, because I think that's just a really good way to portray someone who grooms people into sex work. They're insecure. They're trying to control other people. They're entitled to other people's bodies. I think they did a pretty good job on him as a villain. Now I'm doing Adam. Yeah, that's Adam. Okay, Adam. Adam's also good. I think so far the general take is the characters are generally good. Anyway, he's also voiced by Alex Brightman. Super funny. He's super funny looking. Like, his goofy Muppet body, especially during the trial scene. Hell is Forever is one of the best songs. It's very Beetlejuice coded, so of course it works out.
Hell is forever, whether you like it or not. Had their chance to behave better, now they boil in the pot.
I think the main thing holding him back is the whole man-child thing, the whole excessive swearing. I mean, there's some parts with the swearing where it is pretty funny.
Fuck you, you red piece of fuck. You much fucking red fuck. Shut up!
I think the part that's a little hard for me to believe is that anyone in heaven would give him a pass for all the swearing and nasty behavior. They seem so offended when Charlie swears, so I don't get... He's not that special. He's a golden child, I guess, whatever. He's dead now, though, so that's him. I think that's most of who I want to cover. Oh, let's talk about Rosie for a second, because I actually really like Rosie. She's also going to be good. I love her voice. I love her singing. I love her silly little Technicolor musical town that she lives in. Her presence makes things pretty interesting because she shows that the overlords of hell can actually be really sweet and community-oriented. I love her bonding with Charlie and encouraging her. I like her friendship with Alistair a lot. She seems like somebody that he should really be around more often. She loses some points for this weird continuity thing. There's that part in the Cannibal Town episode where Charlie and Alistair walk in and she's like, Alistair, I haven't seen you in ages. And it's like, that's not really true. You kind of saw him at that meeting in episode 3. You were sitting right next to him, girl. The continuity kind of kills the show a little bit. Okay, so I think that's everyone I want to talk about. You can see why the characters appeal to so many people. Their character designs are all pretty cute for the most part. They have interesting personalities, and some of them have pretty developed backstories that you can get pretty invested in. I just hope that the writing's a little better next season. The continuity errors, man, it just... once you spot them, it drives you nuts. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, as per usual. Remember not to make any deals with any demons. And I'll see you next time.